Uncle Frank.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man? Y'all caught me just in time, man. I'm just getting home. I had to go to the liquor store, and while I was at the store, I had to damn this conversation. So I want to reach out to you guys and see what you guys thought, man, about the things that I heard, the things that's going on. Um, and the conversation was, are the unks and the OGs spelling the youth of our community? And the youth, I'm talking about the YNs, the LNs, Big Bro them, um, and everybody along that line. So I'm Uncle Frank, and let's take off. Let's discuss it. Let's see what's happening. Introduce yourself, fellas, and tell us what y'all drinking on. Me myself, I got some Tito's and orange juice that I'm playing with today. Carlos,
This, I guess technically, once we get into it, I'm an OG status, but I'm sipping on some Crown Apple that I've been sitting around the house for a little bit. So this is to Fat Boy Tory. I know you on that Crown. You on that Crown Apple.
Since we're gonna continue on, as always, y'all know I'm on that Crown Peach. You can call me Triple G OG, but today you can call me Fat OG because I'm feeding my face. Now I'm feeding my face and I'm drinking. We can move it on to the next one.
OG Vincent over here. Finishing off my Grey Goose. I just got a little Grey Goose vodka and a shot of lemon in that thing. Cheers, fellas.
Good evening, everybody. It's your favorite Uncle Lou, and tonight I'm sipping on a little Four Roses. Neat. Let's go, Uncle Frank. Take off.
hey man, look, I think this is gonna be an excellent topic for us because the thing that we are hearing, and it's very disheartening, man. So, Paulos, if you could play the clip, let's start it out the right way.
All right, Uncle Frank. All right. So as you guys may have noticed, Uncle Frank gave a breakdown of the LNs, the YNs, the Big Bros, the Unks, and the OG. So this is just a little quick breakdown so you to understand what we're talking about and who we're referring to when we have this discussion going forward. So listen real quickly for this.
No, send me that. No, this nigga's a fool. Start from the beginning, bro.
All right, so look,
I'm starting what?
little niggas is from 8 to 14.
Okay.
Them the little niggas.
YN.
No, little niggas.
Let him go, huh?
YNs is from 15 to 25. Those are YNs. 26 to 35, 34, that's big bro. 36 to 44, that's Unc them. 45 to 55, that's OG now. That's OG. Now, when you start getting into the 60s and 70s, respect your elders, folks.
All right. So Louis, I think that's you the elder, bro. You the elder. You the elder, Louis. So technically, I guess we the OGs. I guess we technically the OGs, but them young boys call me Unc. So I look like I could be an Unc, so I'm going with the Unc Frank. But that's the breakdown. That's the group that we're talking about so far. So back to you, Unc Frank.
So, Lewis, I want you to tell your standpoint of what you think, man. Do you think we haven't stepped up to the plate to fulfill the need to help the youth to get where they need to be at? Because it's a very devastating thing that we've allowed our kids to be called things that are very derogatory. So tell me what you think.
Well, I have two sons. Most of you guys have sons also. Um, I'm dedicated, to teaching my two sons how to be a man, I had the example through my father, learning to own up to your responsibilities, um, take life head on, and challenge yourself, set goals, not just be out here existing in this world, but have goals, have admirations, and every day your feet touch the ground, you thriving and you working towards something. The question is, have we let them down? I'm gonna be honest with you, Uncle Frank. I think a lot of them have let us down. Okay, what do I mean by that? We have given them the blueprint. We have taught them from knee high up, but once they hit a certain age and they're in school, social media, all this, it has corrupted their brain.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, and I want you guys to circle back around to me, but I really feel like, in my opinion, no, I haven't let them down. Um, Even with my nephews, friends of the family, I've seen so many of them. They have father figures in their life. It may not be their father. It could be their uncle, their granddaddy, a bit older brother. They are doing the right things.
Hmm.
They see them working from sun up to sundown,
Okay.
grinding, but because their friends in school are doing XYZ and they haven't been arrested, they haven't been shot, they haven't been killed, they feel like, oh, I can do the same thing and get away with it also. So a lot of the stuff that we have taught them and them growing up seeing us model on how to be a man. We've
Mhm.
made mistakes growing up ourselves, but we overcame them and we kept pushing.
Okay, I got you. Now, so let me jump in. All right. I want Vincent, I want you to take off because the question is, what if those same kids you said we have modeled ourselves behind, what if they 100% a product of their environment? Vincent, jump in there and tell me what you think, bro.
All right. I understand what Lewis saying, but I think I take the opposite
Thank you. I knew you
approach to
would.
it.
That's
And
why.
I
That's
was
why I jumped
thinking,
at you.
I feel more so that, yeah, have we failed them? Yes, to a certain extent. Um, Community breakdown. We don't have a community build up as we did when when we were coming up. You knew your neighbors. You knew everybody's dad. Everybody's dad knew you, knew who you were. Nobody had an issue with their kid being disciplined by a neighbor or a friend of the family or something of that nature. I got in trouble in school. If somebody knew about it while my mom was at work, you best believe they was calling my mom or calling my grandma or calling my uncle. They knew where I stayed. They knew everything. Nowadays, it's totally different. We don't have community, so we don't have that connection. Um, and on top of that, there's a saying that strong men build weaker men. I find that to be somewhat true. In raising up my sons, I remember at a certain point, I had to take my sons over to the neighborhood that I grew up in, from over by Greenbrier Mall to Adamsville, because they grew up out here in Douglasville. They were in a house. They didn't grow up in apartments. They didn't have any friends that stayed in the projects. I don't even think they really knew what projects looked like or was.
Hmm.
So when I took them to certain neighborhoods, they noticed my demeanor would change, and you adapt to your environment. And I told her, I moved away from that so they wouldn't have to be brought up in that type of environment because I realized at a certain point in my life that we normalize stuff that's not normal as men. The fighting, the violence, I saw a guy get pretty much murdered. He wound up dying later on, but the guy got cut up real bad, wound up bleeding out over a card party, a fight that broke out at a card party. My kids have never witnessed anything, never even came close to witnessing anything like that. And that's one reason I moved away from like that type of neighborhood in that community. The young ones now, there's a huge disconnect. I feel like the communication, value of life is not there. Just the communication and the stuff. Like Frank, I see how you have your son, your nephew, all of them with you, and you have serious, deep conversations with them. And make sure they understand what you're talking about for clarity. I've heard those conversations, and I think me and you real similar on that, because we both always start our conversations. We kind of blunt with everything we say and crazy, because we don't want zero. We want zero misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room for misunderstanding. And if you don't understand, we're gonna clarify it right here in this conversation on the spot.
Yes, sir.
And it's a lot of that missing. It's a lot of that missing right now. And by the time nobody wants to engage, we don't have any leaders. Even in the household, you got parents scared of their children now. Don't want to discipline. I had a conversation with my cousin about he regrets spanking.
Shit.
I don't believe in it at all. I tore them up. Where they showed their ass, I showed mine. I ain't scared to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
I spare the rod spoil the child.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know that there's a line in between discipline and abuse, and you got to know what that is. But discipline is always warranted with kids, because kids don't have the mental capacity to understand the complexity of some of their decisions and the outcome of those decisions. So you have to go down to their level a little bit.
I got everything you saying, but you said something really well that stuck out to me. And Paulos, I want you to jump in and take the lead on this, because Vincent just said sometimes we will be in a certain situation, and because we want a better life for ours, we move away. But fellas, when we move away, do we forget about what we left behind? So Paulos, I know you have grown tremendously in your walk. And I want you to step in and explain to us, do you feel like when you left behind and you didn't bring forth anybody with you? Tell me what you think.
Bro, you just struck a nerve and you didn't even know it. I actually have some guilt, or I guess what you call survivor's remorse for that. I grew up in the project. If you're from Atlanta, you know about Bankhead Court. You knew about how notorious it was for the violence and, drug activities. At the same time, it was a community. It was a close-knit family that, stuck together and hung together. But again, it was still the project. There still was abject poverty. There still was a lot of drug abuse. And, the goal was always to get up out of that environment and to never go back. And so for me, when we moved out of there when I was 16 in 10th grade. Moved into a house not too far from there, but I got to a point where I wasn't trying to go back. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't going back. There's people in the community, and the community is no longer there, who their identity is so closely tied to it that you kind of knew where they were from just from interacting with them. And I've had this comment before from a lot of people: "Oh, you from Bankhead? You don't act like you're from Bankhead." And so, I took that as okay. Depending on who said it, it could be offensive because it's grouping us all in one place. Because the majority of people that I know, they went out there and worked, and they earned, and they were law-abiding citizens. But there was a large population of the criminal element, and I ain't gonna knock it. Family members are part of that. So, I could take some offense for it. But for me, I hold a little guilt when I go back, or when I went back and I saw that it was kind of the same. Things weren't getting better for people. People weren't elevating, and I wasn't trying to go back. I wasn't one of them type of people who would go back often. And before they tore it down, I would visit family members who still live there, but it wasn't a place that I was eager to get back to or eager to hang out to. And as you said, as I progressed and moved on with my life and my career, I took my older kids back there just so they could know the environment that I grew up in. And for them, it was shocking because they again, like Vince did with his kids, they've grown up in houses their whole lives. The violence, the drug use, all that it would be foreign to them. So they can't relate to that environment, which I'm proud of that. But at the same time, I needed them to understand where I came from.
So I got one
Mhm.
question for you.
Mhm.
What helped you escape those situations? What helped you to get away from the Bankhead Court? What did you have to do to get you out of there?
I would be lying if I said it was by myself. I did it by myself. It was people who saw something in me. They wanted to invest in me. I had a mentor. I had people who saw something in me, and then they poured more into me and gave me the belief that I didn't have to be a product of my environment, that I could be bigger than my surrounding, and that I had options and choices. I remember one time I had she was my mentor, and I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but Miss Wright, she was a Spanish teacher, and she would take me with her granddaughter, and her family, and she would take me to different places. We go out to eat, and then one time she took one of the most profound things she ever did for me that gave me a belief was I went to off of Old National, where Holyfield's house, Rick Ross house now, that's always been an affluent area.
Yeah.
And so back then, she took me to this house, and I ain't never seen black people that live like this. It was a 3-story house. They had a tennis court in the back. They had like a full bar and pool table in the basement, like almost another house. And for me, I was like, there's black people who live. I had never seen a black person that I knew personally or that lived like that. And she had plenty of friends like that. And so for me, exposing me to that opened my eyes that, hey, if they can do it, then there's a possibility that I can do it. So, I didn't have a bleak outlook on life anymore. From that point forward, I was like, this is my goal. So whatever I got to do to achieve something like this is what I'm going to do.
So at what stage in your life were you? Were you LN or?
I was in high school, so I was a YN, about to be 15? Yeah, 15, something like that. So I was a YN. What they consider.
So for you at that age being a YN, your growth was based around mentorship and education?
Yep. I saw that as my pathways out. Mentorship and education. Yeah.
Thank you. Now I want to jump over to Vontori because I'm so impressed by the young man that Vontori is raising. And Paulos is in that YN stage of his life. And he is an A1 student at the University of Georgia. So Vontori, what did you do to help push your son off in that right direction? How did you help to mold him into the young man that he's becoming? Vontori, is your mic on?
Yeah, unmute
I'm sorry, y'all hear me now. Y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All
Do
right,
you need me to repeat the question?
No, I heard what you said. I'll
Okay.
start with that and tell you how my son, but let me start off talk about how we talk about our community.
Mhm.
So we asked, did we fail each other? I say we failed each other and my community failed me. And I'm gonna tell you why I say my community failed me. Growing up, like I told you, it's no secret, I'm a mama's boy. But growing up, they say, y'all say we have a community. We didn't have a community. When we look at Harper High School, growing up, honestly, We didn't have no leaders. I mean, we didn't have no people to stand, to talk to us. To be honest with you, going through school, it was always either going to be a doctor or a lawyer. And if you went in the magnet program, they didn't show no special interest to you. Was a counselor with it there for us? No. Mr. Hawthorne, he wasn't there for us. I saw with us, it was the best way to get out the neighborhood, you had to be a drug dealer. That was the thing. It was the fast money. That's all I ever saw. People doing fast money. And honestly, I think what we fell in now is social media. We glorify everything. Everything is based on, I got this money, I got this, I got this, I got this. But nobody was there really growing up, honestly. In my community, we say, do we have leaders? Did we really have leaders? I can't think of a leader we had in our school. We can always holler, well, we had the Jesse Jackson back then. The only person I really saw to come through our neighborhood was John Lewis. And honestly, rest his soul. Only time I saw John Lewis come to the barbershop when it was campaigning time. He came in there and shook our hand. Much respect to him, but that's all I ever saw John Lewis. Did John Lewis come to our school and talk to our school? No. I mean, think about how our school was. We didn't even have computers in our school. From my understanding, we had some, but they was for the financial student. We didn't have none of that. They were for everybody. See, Paulo, you was thankful because you was in the magnet program. But honestly, the closest thing I saw to a computer, honestly, was when I took Miss Gleason class. It was a typing class. And honestly, it was just a word processor.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because I didn't know that there was a different perspective, because I guess I was considered one of those honor students, or one of those students who focused on education. I'm not saying I was the best student. I did what I needed to do to get by. I'm sure I could have did better, but I thought they were treating us all the same.
Really?
I honestly did.
No.
I honestly thought that the level of education that we were getting was similar. I know, I took advanced placement courses, and I knew that was different, but I just thought that we were getting the same education.
No.
Wow.
Someone had to take
Yeah,
a vested interest in you.
There you go. That's what I'm saying when I say community. So it's an individual experience for everybody, because when I say leaders, it didn't have to be a John Lewis. It didn't have to be a Mayor Andy Young or somebody like that was on the TV screen. I'm talking about a local person in your neighborhood that just took you by the side and say, "Hey, look here, young blood, you fucking up."
But that's what
pull your yeah.
Go ahead, Tori. Tori, go ahead.
No. I agree with you, Vince. But you grew up in the same neighborhood. What person did we have to do that for? Now I know you said we was in elementary. Mr. Brewer took you on and all that stuff. But for me, I didn't have none of that stuff. Everything I learned on my own.
Yeah. See,
and I remember when
I'm gonna tell you, it was people in the community. Like, I don't know if it was because of my mom's background from the military and coming home, but we had a couple of bootleggers in the neighborhood. Everybody know what I'm talking about, and it was a guy, Brock. Brock is related to another famous person that we know about. We ain't gonna get into that, but he was a bootlegger. So like I would go as a young kid. I remember going to pick up cigarettes and stuff for my mom when I got to a certain age and stuff like that. So, and they would talk to me and make sure like I wasn't getting in no trouble in the streets and stuff like that. And that's one of the people, like if something happened, I had an uncle that was in the streets and was known for his aggression. So a lot of situations I got a pass for it, because if somebody was messing with me and that name came up, they were like, "Hold on, man, you don't want to do that. Like leave that one alone." Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. It was like guys around the community that knew my family or knew me, that and that's a form of mentorship to keep you out of trouble. Like, don't go the route your uncle did, to make sure I wasn't doing what my uncle did. Make sure I didn't get in some of the trouble my brother did.
But I get you on that, Vic. I get you on that, Vic. Yes, they kept you out of trouble. What did they do for our future? I mean,
It
we didn't
kept.
have nobody. I mean, I'm just saying, at our school growing up, and I'm talking about them key areas between 13 and 18. We didn't have nobody to say, "Hey, take up carpentry, take up plumbing."
Oh yeah, see, I did. That's how I wound up in cabinetry. That's how I wound up with the trade skills I got. That's how I'm able to build a house by myself
But did you
because I
get that?
did have
Did you
people
get
that
that at
take me
Harper High
through that.
School though? Did you get that through Harper High School? Did we have a leader
Yes,
at our
yes,
school?
some of it did. Some of it did. I took technical drafting at Harper High School
So you
before they
say,
got rid of the program.
so you said Mr. Hayes guide you the right
No,
way.
no, Mr. Hayes was different. Mr. Hayes was an art program. That wasn't technical drafting.
Oh, okay.
That's another person that mentored me without really. Sometimes they did it without even knowing they do. And I still talk to Mr. Hayes, and I gave him some accolades on Facebook about stuff I remember that he talked to us about, back then. But that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. It's an individual experience.
Okay, Lewis, I see you sitting back there, man. I need you to sit up. Jump in there, man. Tell me what you think. Talk about it.
Hey, everybody is I have some great points, and like Vincent said, Mr. Hayes was one of those guys at Harper High School that he kind of filled in the gap from my dad. Okay, so me, I was never interested in the streets. You know, um, I grew up in the church. I was one of them kids that I was at church three, 4 times a week. Tuesday, Bible study. Friday, my mom was at choir practice, so I was right there with her. Sunday, we went to church, well, Sunday school, church. After that, everybody got together and ate dinner. So I didn't have time to get exposed. So even in like during the week after school, I wasn't allowed to leave the street that we lived on. So all the guys came to my house, and we was outside in the back. We played throw up tackle, kickball, baseball, or whatever the case may be. So that was my family. Now we spoke on the leaders. Did we have leaders back then? Again, I'm just gonna go with Vincent. I think a lot of it was just personal experiences, personal relationships that we had throughout the community, whether it was through elementary, middle, well, we didn't have middle school or high school, playing sports, your coaches, they pretty much mentored people or kept you in line, and making sure that you didn't sway. So, and so that's why I said at the beginning, I feel like the aliens and the YNs or the big bros because we fit to some now. So at that time, the big bros back then was the YNs and the aliens. Okay, all the YNs and the aliens now they like our grandsons, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I say they failed us, and I'm not saying that's not 100. I'm not saying that's 100%. But
Talk
I'm
that
not
talk,
gonna.
Lewis. Don't hold
I'm not.
up. Talk that talk.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Hey, I didn't give my all in all to my sons, or I didn't give my all in all to my friends' sons or nephews, this, that, and the third." Just like Vincent said, you had those conversations. Vincent had them conversations. I'm sure Tori had them conversations with his son. Paulos also. We laid the foundation. They're gonna do what they want to do.
Let me step in 1 second.
Okay.
One thing I want to
Hold,
say,
hold
I
on, hold
agree
on,
with.
hold on, Vince. Hold on, y'all. Hold on for a second now, because I talk to Paulos from time to time, and young people are going to do what they want to do. But Paulos, I've talked to you about your mentorship program. And I know these kids want to do what they want to do, but a lot of time, as for me, I'm not going to talk about me, but as for me, I was a product of my environment, and it caused me to act a certain type of way, and it caused me to do certain things. So, Paulos, can you tell us how you're mentoring the young men that you're mentoring, and you're trying not to let them end up falling in the cracks?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to be involved with the county mentoring program for middle school for these middle school kids out here where I live, right? And so I've got 3 mentees, and they're all 6th graders, and they were all recommended to be in this program for various reasons. Behavior,
So they are LNs, little niggas?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. And be honest with you, I'm a little concerned because I know one of them is on the pathway to get into some real trouble. One of the kids, and they're all bright kids. One of the kids, he's a natural leader, and they follow him. But he's going to be the one to lead the other kids down to the wrong path. And it's not that he's a bad kid. It's just he's not challenged with school in everyday school. So he will say he hates school. He say he don't like school, but I know he's intelligent enough that he could do well on it if he's applied for it. But for some reason, he doesn't. There's a disconnect with him in school, and he does things. I can tell. He think he's slick. He think I don't see things. Like, he's the type of kid, like, he's gonna go in a room, he's gonna look at the teacher's desk. Teacher got candy or something in her desk, he's gonna grab it. He's gonna get it. You see what I'm saying? Which is petty, and most kids are not gonna do that. But I can see it escalating to bigger things. He's gonna buck the rules because if he don't agree with them or if they don't fit what he wants to do, he's gonna buck the rules. But again, I can tell he's a smart kid, and he can be bright because I brought in these robots basically for them to build, and he already started putting his robot together without even instructions. So I know he's intelligent, but at the same time, he seems to have keep getting into it with different people. The counselor's like, yeah, I had to have a conversation with him because he's been getting into it with other kids, and I know it's because he's smart. He probably can know how to trigger people, and it's probably entertaining, and it's not triggered for him. So him, I'm worried about. The other kid, one of the kids is the oldest of all the kids, and I just think he's just a natural follower. So he's not strong enough to stand on his own. So he kind of just follows what the other kids do. One of the kids, the 3rd kid, he's kind of in the middle, athlete, but he's crazy about girls. So he's distracted by girls at 6th grade. So I can see what they're gonna become if no one directs them, or if the one who's in the girl, he's gonna be a baby daddy by the time he finishes high school if he's not directed that energy is not directed in somewhere else. Like I said, the other one who's like the natural leader, that the other he's gonna get into some real dirt because that's just the way his mind works. So I'm concerned.
So Tori, I was talking about a few seconds ago about your son. How did you go about getting your son, which is, I think he's a freshman at the University of Georgia, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Is he a freshman or a sophomore?
No, he's about to be a junior. He's in between being a sophomore and a junior.
Okay,
He cut back on his class, yeah.
That's even better. So how did you navigate these troubled waters coming from the inner city?
Well, to be honest with you, Frank, remember I told you, and I don't want to be a broken record. Like I said, I didn't have that father in my life. So everything I did, I tried to do everything opposite what my daddy didn't do for me. So when I tell you I did everything opposite, yes, it was a combination of everything. It was family, friends, uncles. Even when I went into the military, I mean, it taught me how to shine shoes. It taught me how to tie a tie. So as I got those things, I was like, I guess basically with my son, I always did everything what I wished I had in my life. I wish I had a dad to do me this. I wish I had a dad to talk to me this. So the things that I lacked and missed growing up, I just made sure my son didn't like none of that. All because I missed it growing up myself. Which is pretty much different because if you meet my son, Me and him are night and day. So I mean, when I tell you he's quiet, Vincent can testify. He's quiet. He stay to himself. I pretty much say he's an introvert. But pretty much Frank, like you said, I got him to be that way because I was so turned off what kind of father I had. I definitely didn't want to be who he was. So I was everything opposite what my father was. So that pretty much helped him move that way.
Okay, Mr. Vincent, you got them two sons of yours, and both of them is on an excellent path, man. What I know you said you think we failed them, but how did you get your guys to the position that they're in?
Well, pretty much, it was the same thing. Like Tori said, my father was absent. I remember the feeling until this day of grieving for my father, and I just knew whenever my kids came into this world that they would never ever know what that felt like. That's the worst experience, worst heartbreak, worst disappointment I can say I've been through, and I've lost my mother, but just that grief of not being there, the stuff that I did go through, that I felt like if I had a father, it would have protected me from, probably propelled me a little bit further. So I was just that for my sons, and I just stayed involved in everything they were doing. Put them in sports, to not mainly for to excel or think they were going to the NFL or NBA or anything like that, but just for the discipline. The coaches and the mentorship. I didn't play sports in high school, but I stayed around. I played in the street and I played, just with my friends, but I stayed around Coach Walker, Coach Chandler, Sergeant Phillips. So it's just men like that were around me that, always encouraged me. And those guys took an interest in me and, gave me motivation to stay on the right track. But when I say about failing, I didn't reach outside of my kids, which was, I feel, kind of what I understand what Paulos is saying.
Okay,
it was selfish of me.
That's what I'm finna ask. That's what I'm finna ask you now, Vincent. Since you're talking, I'm gonna start with you, and then I'm gonna go around the table, and I'm gonna start with you first. But I want the other guys to think about this before it's their time to say how they feel. Okay, all of us are fathers. What is your parenting skill? What type? Are you an ass kicker? Are you a conversationalist? What do you have to do, or what did you have to do to get your point across to your youth? And then we're gonna go to all the other guys, and I want to see what you guys' parenting skill is, because some of us might be the same and some of us might be different. So, Vincent, I want you to start out with what's your parenting skill like?
For me, it's a balance. I put foot to ass. I'm not gonna lie about it. But I did have those conversations. Like anytime discipline took place with my kids, they knew exactly why they were getting disciplined. So it wasn't like I did discipline out of anger. I think, which I see in a lot of the parents now, they'll get upset with the child and then they want to whoop. Didn't I tell you, and it's a whole speech with it, and the kid ain't really like at that point. It's just noise.
Okay.
Like there's no conversation behind it, no structure. But I instilled a lot of structure.
Okay.
I had rules that just wasn't allowed to be
So
broken.
you had a military structure for them?
I would say so, and that came from my mom. My mom has a military background. Like I told you, my brother was born in Okinawa, Japan. She was in Korea. My mom was zero tolerance for nonsense.
Okay.
So
Louis,
a lot of that came from her.
Louis, jump in now, big bro. Tell me what you got. What you thinking? What's your skill set?
My skill set, man, if it ain't broke,
And see, I'm using you,
keep it
Louis,
moving.
because Louis, you like me. Me, you, and Paulo's the same. We got a balance of girls and boys. So
Right.
how do you parent girls and boys?
Oh man, the girls are different. So I mean, with my boys, it was. I mean, yeah, you want to talk to them. You don't want to have to whoop them or hit them in the chest or whatever. But you have to. You have to make them tough. You have to make them understand. your girls, you have to, whew, you have to go calm down and come back, and
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
had to
different.
do a lot. I
Yeah.
had to do that with my girls. You know, they, I mean, I could just take my little youngest daughter. She know when I'm upset with her. I don't even have to raise my voice. I can give her a look, and tears just go to flowing. She don't never like to disappoint me in anything. You know, same with my other two oldest daughters. But with my sons, I mean, what worked for me worked for them. Again, they still, they moved over to the left here and there, but I had to let them know that I'm still your father.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you 17, 18, 25, 26, I'm still your father. No, it doesn't matter. My dad is 70 years old. I'm 50 years old. I still give him the utmost respect. I know that anytime I cross the line, he can swing on me, and I have to respect that.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
understand.
so discipline, I feel like it starts from birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where we don't think. One thing my wife all have always told me, that don't never think they're not paying attention or listening.
Okay.
Okay, to the things, me and her can be having an argument, and I can say the wrong thing to her or be too loud or da 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 da. That can flow into their mindset, thinking that it's okay to say certain things, you know, uh, in life, and it's not.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, I had jotted down some stuff, and are we on this topic? We're talking about our youth, and I think the other day, guys, we had touched on it a little bit on the old Atlanta and the new Atlanta. And I think somebody stated that Chicago mentality, that Chicago balance is moving to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Um,
It's in Memphis
yeah,
now, and when
yeah.
it leave Memphis, it's coming.
That gang activity, along with what I think uh, Torres stated about social media, it is such man. I'm so happy I wasn't raised in this era right now, because it's. I mean, they got TikTok, IG, Facebook, Twitter, Snap, all this stuff that they can look at, and it really fries their brain. I mean, you have all the streaming channels, Netflix, all the different type of movies these kids are exposed to now. The music, even though, yeah, we had certain, we had Luke and Poison Clan and all that, but I don't know, man. It's just different, man. And I think someone on Facebook was asking about, what is it? And the bottom line to me, to be honest with you guys, a lot of these little young kids, they lazy. They just lazy. They don't want to work. They feel like it's easier for them to take from people than to go get a bucket with some soap and water in it, knock on everybody's door, and ask to wash their car.
Okay, hold right there, Lewis.
Yeah,
Hold right there, Carlos. I want
yeah.
to know what your parenting skill is, but I also want you to piggyback off of what Lewis said, because a lot of times kids look for end result. If they don't see Carlos and where he came from, and to see where he at now, they don't think that's a reality. So, Carlos, I want you to jump in, explain what your parenting skill is, as well as paint a picture of how you've done it and how successful it has made you,
Okay,
so
so
that other kids will be able to see it.
I'm gonna do it twofold. First, I'm gonna explain my parenting style, and then I'm going to play that
And
video
then
that we
Tori,
talked
you
about.
next.
Okay, then I'm gonna play that video that we talked about, which I think illustrates
What do you wait a minute? Do you want me to come back to you and you can do that last, or should let Tori get his point across?
No, because I think it's relevant in this point because for me, Lewis was mentioning that, he thinks the kids are lazy or the YNs are lazy and they don't want to work. And I think they're hurt. I think there's pain, the way they're acting because of the pain that they have. And we mentioned it before. Vince mentioned it and Tori mentioned it. It's the pain that adapted the way that they parent their kids. And so I just wanted to bring that spot, into that to demonstrate. And we talked about it before, why these kids are now on demon time as well, Frank. So that's what I want to connect it to.
Okay, talk about it then, bro. Talk about it.
Okay. All right. So my parenting style is definitely ebb and flow. As you mentioned before, I have daughters and a son. And the way I parented, there's some consistency around how I parent them across the board, meaning I don't mince words. When I say it, I mean it. So I stick to the gun. If I say there's an effect for whatever you do, you cause this effect, then it's going to be. If I say you're going to be punished for 2 weeks with nothing, you're going to be punished for 2 weeks. So my word is bond. So, and I don't say a lot of words. And again, similar to Lewis with the daughters, you can look at them or you can talk to them sternly, and that hurts their feeling enough that they're correct. Whereas,
Paulo, let me stop you for a second, because Vincent, I want to apologize, bro, because Vincent got a daughter as well, and I straight looked over that, so I apologize for that, Vincent. But go ahead, Paulos. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, boys to course correct, we know we're stubborn, we're more hard headed. So for us to course correct, sometimes it takes more than just a talking to or a look. Sometimes you have to understand or introduce them, because with men, we all know that around a bunch of grown men, violence is always sitting on your shoulder. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Things can escalate so quickly between men that we know that there's a chance that violence could happen. And, you have to be prepared for that. You don't want to be the recipient of it. You want to, stand your ground and be able to do that. So for my son, I had to instill in him how to be a man and how to move around men. Unfortunately, the mom tried to baby him. No, because you're going to go through some pain and hurt, and you got to still stand in it and be a man about it. So that was how I adjusted my parenting style, because, again, similar to you, we mentioned in the last episode, and you guys go check that out, about the impact that our father's absences had on there. And, fortunately, there are some men who stepped in the gap for me, and some other people who helped me to navigate some of those difficult times to keep me on the path that I was going to. So that was kind of how I approached parenting. Definitely not trying to do it the way my father did it, but trying to be better in all areas. So, but let me pull this video up real quick. I think it's definitely show or demonstrate.
While y'all doing that, fellas, I'm gonna replenish my drink.
Go ahead. All right, make sure you guys can see that. All right, can y'all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, let's play this and show we can hear it.
These itself, I come from the streets. The only thing they're gonna say the streets is something that come from it. I used to be a monster. I didn't know what a man was, because when now. But my brother got shot 56 times with an AK-47, and they left him out in the rain for 4 hours in front of my mama. Everybody that lost some. Pain, lack is what breed killers. Lack of resources. Boy, we don't know that back going to get no job and the refrigerator empty. And we 14 years old and can't go get no job to pay that bill, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to know how to help us, man? You know what I'm talking about? Help heal this pain, man. Because this pain sits so deep and it'll create a monster, man. And y'all hear us out here saying we on demon time and them little boys be dead serious until the devil show up. I'm 5'5", in physical stature, but I'm 7'4" in spirit. You know what I'm talking about? What's gonna change this environment, man, is us changing our mind. Because we manifest what's in our mind because we've been given behavioral scripts. When I look at y'all, I see me. When y'all look at me, y'all see y'all, because we're a mirror reflection of each other. And what we have in common is the struggle. And struggle is every part of life, man. You see what I'm saying? Y'all looking at a man that died inside. Y'all want to see the living dead. You looking at it. The only reason I'm here is because God got me here. I'm supposed to been on death row. But he saved me. And I'm telling y'all this from the perspective of a real hitter. That's what we're going to stop at right there, man. They say we can't stand together for nothing. That's a lie. I come from Crip background, man. We stand together in that until somebody asks me, why would you be willing to die for a stranger who you don't know because of a blue color we have in common rather than live your life for them babies that you helped create, man? I'm just not getting to know my children, man. You hear me? Y'all daddy could be me if he ain't dead already. My daddy was never there. He chose the streets over us. My mama sold her body to put food on the table, but I ain't see her as no hoe. I saw my mama. That part.
Okay. Now, from that perspective, it make me look differently at the life. And Tori, I know you say all the time that your father let you down and he disappointed you. And I see that man 100% correlate to some of the things that you have been saying since we've been doing this. So I want you to go first, and I want you to talk about what you think we can do different to stop letting our youth down, because that's the cycle that's creating all these problems. Us being absent when we are needed the most. And when I mean us, I'm talking about we are 4 strong black males, and we didn't just have them and disappear. So take out, bro. Tell me what you think we can, how can we, I don't know, man. I got so much I want to say, but bro, talk to the people, man. Tell them what you think.
I'm kind of a little opposite on that story. I kind of felt his story, but I didn't feel his story because to me, he was talking to the wrong audience. I get it, he was in the church. Something like that, I think he should have been in some school. I don't know why he was there, but to me, him living that struggle, he should have been at some high school or middle school. So they, like the younger kids probably could have relate to him because nowadays everybody like, oh no, he's selling out, he's snitching. So yes, I got what he was saying, but to me, he was preaching to the wrong audience. We'll just go with that point. I'm just a little opposite toward that. Yes, I get what he say going through, but you could tell where the miseducation was in that, and they was cheering him on. But I just felt he was talking to the wrong audience. Why he was talking to that audience? It looked like just glancing at the video, and we looked at the video earlier, it looked like it was more of an older audience, so they understood where he was coming from. But he was talking to an audience that already understood that. So I felt him expressing his opinion, and he was going to the wrong audience.
So Vincent,
Totally
do you
different.
feel like he was talking to the wrong audience, or do you feel like any audience is audience?
No, I felt like he was talking to the right audience because that's what we missing. That pain and that hurt. We don't see that. Or if we did see it, it was ignored. That's why, like, these young ones are hurting. Like, they acting out of hurt. They have no respect for life. They have no, and we say now we can't understand why they acting like they acting. He's telling why he's acting like he's acting, and he's talking to the right people because we have to fix that. We have to bridge that gap. They
He's doing the blame game, though, man.
No, they can't bridge the gap.
You think that's a blame game?
No, it's not a blame game. You cannot tell anybody how to feel. You have to listen to what they say, and they feel how they feel. Understand, those are his feelings. It don't matter
I'm not,
what you think about it. You got to listen to what he's saying and how he feels.
I'm not. Look,
That's the
listen.
problem.
I understand where you're coming from. Yes, it's what he feeling. But I still say that approach he going to that didn't touch nobody. Yeah, the women felt
Yo, yes,
sorry for him.
it touched
They
me.
felt sorry for him. What way?
I don't feel sorry for him. I feel the
That
problem
speech
when it
didn't do
comes
nothing
in.
for anybody grown in that audience. What did that do for anybody in that audience?
I
Everybody
have
was
no
grown.
idea.
It
You have
helps
to t-
explain them. It shows the pain. That's what I'm saying. Because if you see him,
Yes.
if that young man, what he did was he expressed that pain. He put it into words. So if you couldn't visually see and feel that man pain,
He is talking to the
expressed
generation of people that caused that pain in him.
that
Yeah.
looked at him. Because again, we've been looking at him, and we've mentioned this before. When we see some of them YNs, we look at them sideways, and they can tell that they know. You know what I'm saying? So some of us have been too far removed, and we haven't been in that environment. And when we see them, we see the results of it. What he said, if he can't focus, he can't be the best version himself if he's worrying about his safety, his security, whether he's going to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of the basic necessities to live a wholesome life. He doesn't have that. And you can tell that, and his father's not there to provide it or guide him. So he's basically learning from the street. He joined the gang, and the gang gave him bad,
security.
you know.
They gave him
Yeah, they gave him
sense of
security.
security,
So
a
they're
sense of
supposed to say he had to
unity.
defend.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well,
well,
I
the
get-
community
listen.
should have done that. That should have been us, not the,
Okay, I
not the
get-
gang.
Okay, I understand totally where y'all coming from. Yes, I felt the pain, but I'm saying it needed to be addressed to our youth. He was addressing to some old folks in the audience.
We don't
But
know
why-
who in there.
Okay,
You
hold
can,
on.
you
How-
can,
how-
you can see what you can
why-
see what was
why is
playing
it-
into.
Everybody, if he's talking, wait, hold on. If he's talking to his own generation or at a high school, he's talking to people that feel exactly like him. That's
They
not
ain't
going to
gonna
be
understand.
impactful. That's not going to change anything.
They're
not
not
in
gonna
They are
understand.
him. He looking in the mirror and talking to himself when he does that. You got to
That's
talk to
all-
somebody who
that's
can
all-
help you fix the pain, heal the pain. That's us. That's the older generation. That's the unks. That's the OGs.
Yeah.
See,
They
that's
say,
what,
look here, young bro, I'm sorry. You know, we don't want to do that because it's almost like you saying I fucked up.
yeah.
And we
And
can't,
see-
we don't want to admit that. But
And
that,
see,
we did.
That's very important because it's hard for you to look at in the mirror and fix yourself. So when you talking to yourself, that don't work. So we have got to fix these situations, gentlemen, because we created him. He is gonna create the next generation, and that fucked up generation that he create, it gonna create one worse than them.
Yes.
So he was
Okay.
talking, he was truly talking to the audience, like Vincent said, that caused him to be who he is.
Okay, I'm with y'all on that. I hear y'all. It's no different that the five of us were sitting in that room. He told us that. I
Mhm.
get it. He told us, but we all know what he went through.
Mhm.
Him telling us that is not gonna make me a better person. Me hearing this story.
But
Tori,
Listen, what I'm saying though. Wait a minute, y'all.
let me respond to Tori when he get finished.
Wait, hold on. Let
ahead.
Tori finish. Let Tori finish, and then
Yeah.
you rebut.
okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm saying it's almost like we sitting in the room, the five of us, and he tell us that story. Yes, I feel sorry for you, bro. I understand your pain. But what is it reaching out to? I know what he went through. We are 51. Where I'm at now, his story don't help me out none whatsoever.
No,
Now,
it ain't designed to.
Wait, but hold up, I'm saying him telling that story to us, the five of us right now, that's not gonna make me a better person. Yes, my
It's not to
heart
make
go
you
out
a
to-
better person.
No, but you
It's for
missing what I'm
him.
saying. But yes, no, it ain't for him. Yes, for him to express that. But I'm saying, yes, express it to somebody like you, like our sons and daughters, so they don't go on that same path. Tell it
Tori,
to us,
let me-
it's
let
not
me-
worth
let me-
nothing.
Let me respond.
Okay, Paulos, you go ahead. Paulos, you go ahead.
Let me respond. Okay, Tori. That message wasn't for none of our sons and none of our daughters because we're there. That wasn't for us to pass on to our kids. That was a cry out for us as the elders, the unks and the OGs, to embrace this young man. If you see that young man on the street or struggling, give him an opportunity. You got a job, give him a job so that he can get off the street. You got a program that'll help him, give him that. You get some free counseling service, give him that. Next time you see somebody who look like him, he needs an opportunity. We're in a position now to give the opportunities that somebody gave to us. We didn't walk this path alone. We didn't get where we were before. I had a mentor at my job when I first started at the bank who took me to the side, showed me how to do things, and set me on the path that I was going forward. He was older, so he was probably an unk back then. So now that I'm in that position, if I see a young man that comes through if you see a young man who comes through your job or applying, you help him say, hey, young blood, and we aging ourselves, this is how you do it. When you apply this way, do this, and that. And then when you get on, you take him under your wing, and then you help guide him. Because if not, he gonna become the next version of that one, because they gonna get it any way they can, because we've seen it. But we are in a position now to do something about it. So that's what the message is about.
Carlos, I want Vincent to jump in, and as soon as Vincent jump in, you get your point across, I'm gonna spin this thing so fast, and I'm gonna spin it, and I'm gonna start with Lewis when I spin it. So Vincent, jump in.
I agree wholeheartedly with Carlos. Like, the problem is, Tory made a statement and said that his story is not benefiting me. That's what he said. All right, so it's not to benefit you. That cry out for help. If a young man is crying out for help in a room, and you're in that room, and he talks to you like that, and you don't step up and take him under your wing or attempt to or do anything to try to help, you failed. You failed him. You failed him as a man. You failed him as an OG. You failed him as an You failed.
Okay, but
that's
what
your job.
Tor, hold on. Let Vince finish, okay. Tor. Let Vince finish.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
That's your job. Him talking to a room full of people that feel exactly like him, it's not going to do anything for his cry for help. Those people are crying also. So why are you're in a room full of crying kids? It's going to take our generation to get involved. The mentorship like Paulos is involved in right now. And that's one thing I can say that I keep saying that I have not stepped into yet. That's a role that I'm supposed to be in, and I know I'm called to do it, but I haven't stepped into it. But I got to get more involved.
Okay, I get you the same with that mentorship. But what I'm trying to say is the statement he made, he already knows his mistakes. Look at it as a cry for help. I looked at it as he was showing y'all where he has came from and where he was now. That I didn't get that he was saying I need help now. He already knew what his mistakes, what his problem was. He understood that his mom was a hoe. That
okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question. He made a statement. Hold on. I'm gonna let you keep going. He asked a question. He said, he made a statement. Said, "I'm just now getting to know my kids." So who is going to be there to show him how to help raise those kids? Where's the man? Where's the role model? Who's there to show him what that looks like? How to do that?
Great point.
Okay,
I get you on that point. Hold on, one more time. I'm gonna step back.
Okay.
I'm saying y'all act like this guy saying he hurting for help. He realized where his mistakes are. He wasn't. First of all, he sat there and said, "Hey, I know where I come from. I know what I did. I know where I'm coming from." The point was, he said I'm just saying I didn't look at it as a cry for help. I look at it to show where he was coming from. I looked at he was mentoring to the crowd, and the woman who was crying in there was saying maybe she felt what he was going through, but it goes back to the mentorship that he need to talk to you.
Do we need to play it again? Do we need to play it again?
I think you're missing it because see, hold on, one more statement, Frank. I'm sorry, one more statement. I got to get this out. He cries out for help. How many people that we know of that came up with us that you saw at one point? We can name some specific names, but we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna call no name. That you saw they going in this direction, but nobody did nothing about it. They was trying. They was trying. But they were trying. But because nobody pulled them in and said, "Come on, you ain't got to do that. Come on, you ain't got to go that way." And then so they fell back into the trap. Like, what's the point of me trying to get out of this? I can't get out of this. Nobody's gonna help me get out of this.
Yeah. See, that's what
Who's
that's
gonna
what
help
my
him? Somebody
spin.
that's doing the same thing that's gonna help him? No,
That's what I'm
But
it's not
saying,
gonna help
but
him.
Vincent.
I'm
That
telling
don't
you,
work.
nobody in that audience
Tori,
I felt that was
Tori,
that
Hold on,
way.
sir.
Tori, listen,
Okay,
listen,
okay,
listen,
okay. Go
listen,
ahead. All right.
listen. Let me spin this for y'all right quick because this is something that Tori missing, and he is missing it to the left. Vincent, you right there in the middle, you're in Paulos, and then I'm on the right. See, this is what Tori don't realize, Vincent. Most of the time, black men don't want to be vulnerable to understand what's happening. Vincent, Paulos, Von Torre, as well as me, Uncle Frank, we all have daddy issues because those guys didn't do their jobs. So therefore, Von Torre is real passionate about how he feel from his standpoint because he never seen it done the right way. Like that young man never seen it done the right way. Vincent, you never seen it done the right way. Paulo's never seen it done the right way. Neither have I. So that's why I'm finna spin this because Lewis is the only person in our group that has no inkling on what's going on because his dad was 100% right there. Now, if Lewis was saying what Von Torre was saying, I could go with that. But I really can't agree with how Von Torre is saying it because his life through his eyes mimics what this man is saying. He didn't know his dad from that standpoint to know what a man is supposed to do, what he's supposed to look like, what time of the morning he's supposed to get up to go to work, how he's supposed to come home, how he's supposed to go get groceries, how he's supposed to do none of that. So
But
Lewis is the only person, Tori, Lewis is the only person in our group that knows what a real man look like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Lewis, jump in. Tell us what you think about what the young man was saying.
I mean, it's real simple. What you just stated, yourself, Frank, Paulos, Montori, Vincent. I don't know y'all backstory. I only know what y'all have shared with me. But all four of you guys, y'all broke the cycle. It's just that simple. Y'all broke the cycle. Now, every last one of y'all sons are moving in the right direction. All because y'all chose to break the cycle and not follow what other relatives, whether it's male or female, did while y'all was growing up. My dad ain't perfect. Yeah, he was in my life, but I'm not gonna sit up here and say, well, my dad was perfect. Yeah, he was in my life and he showed me a lot. But I also learned from his wrongdoing also. The things that he should have done or he didn't do as right. Okay. And sometimes, you say, well, a man is in the house and that right there should be enough. It's not enough. But I take my hat off to all four of you guys because whatever happened before you guys growing up, y'all broke the cycle. And that's why now all four of you guys are successful. Your kids are successful from what I hear. So that's it right there. That gentleman right there that was in that video, he need a way out. He need to see. So like what Paulo said, he had a lady to take him over off Old National to one of those subdivisions and show him what hey, black people are, there are black people that live good, that are successful. That's what he need to see. He
Yeah.
joined that game because he thought that game was going to show him how to be a productive citizen in this world. No, that game ain't going to show you that.
hey, I'm gonna
You-
make you stop it right there, Lewis. And I get what y'all saying. Number one, I don't give him a pass. But number one, he looked like he was about young. What y'all probably say? He probably what, 29, 28? We
Maybe.
we can look at propaganda. And he grew up in social media. You remember when we grew, I give us an excuse. We all had Bill Cosby. We seen the Cosby Show. There's plenty of propagandas out there. We can say we don't know what a dad or father should be like. There's enough stuff on TV like that. Yes, it's fictional, but at least you got some blueprint that you can go by. Now, I can't say, when he talking about Bloods and Crips, I don't know what's going on in LA because I never grew up in LA.
He
I'm
ain't
not
It's
in
gonna
Bloods and
LA,
lie.
so
Crips. It's Bloods and
That's
Crips
what
right
we're
here,
talking
bro.
about. It's here. It's everywhere.
It's Bloods and Crips
he
here.
not in
But
LA.
It's Bloods
okay,
and Crips right here in Atlanta.
yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying to a certain extent that way of life, you can see it was on TV and all that stuff. But I'm saying we can say we don't know what dads are, but it's enough stuff on social media and TV that give you some form of a blueprint the way things should be. In
Social
some
media ain't
way,
real life. Social media ain't
no,
real life, story.
it ain't real life, but Paulos, it's almost like we go. I'm gonna go a little deeper when we say religion. A lot of people say they either believe in God, don't believe in God, and we got a friend that say we got a friend, a mutual friend that says when we talk about God, we say some way God gonna reach you in some form or fashion. Growing up, you gonna see what a dad should be in life. We got black families. That's probably we probably fell in again. Black families. Somebody in your family, cousin, you see a blueprint of a father where a father's supposed to be. It's not all negative. Yes,
But
But
I
Tori,
grew up,
Tori,
but,
but
guess
I'm-
what?
but I'm saying,
Let-
I grew up as a
Okay,
single.
okay.
But
Go
I'm saying,
go back to what he said though. He said he saw his mom sell her body
To
so that
take
he
care of
could
me.
eat. So that he can eat. So from that point, he said, you know what? My mom can't be selling her body, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to bring bread and bacon into the house. Again,
That's
whatever it takes. Now, I'm not saying it's right, not saying it's right,
we're
but
assuming that, Lewis. He didn't say that. We're assuming that.
assuming what
That what
He
you
he
just
did
said,
said
say
Tori.
that.
that.
he said
He
it, Tori.
did say it.
he
See,
said, his mom.
That's the
Go
problem
ahead.
right there. He said he
That's what I
said he
said.
saw his mama sell her body. He don't see her as a prostitute. All he saw was his mama.
His
Quote.
Of
mama.
course,
That's what he
of
said.
Providing,
course. We
providing
can
for
both
him.
see
So
that.
It's a
Okay,
disconnect. You
yeah,
you
Tori,
cannot
yeah.
you cannot process in your
The-
mind or rationalize what he's saying and living like that. I don't know that's what a
Because
disconnect is.
it's so far removed. Let me interject a little bit here, Tori. And you brought some enlightenment to me today, and I'm gonna bring some enlightenment to you today too as well. At our high school, we all attended the same high school, and again, I thought we were all getting equal, comparable educations. You guys enlightened me that wasn't the fact, right?
Yeah.
So we all grew up in different neighborhoods, different projects, different apartments. Tori, you was in the house most of your life, all your life. If I don't know, correct me. Lewis was too.
Mhm.
And Frank and Vincent might speak about this. Tori, have you ever seen a man get stabbed to death?
no.
Have you
I
ever seen a
have.
man get shot? I know, that's what I'm saying. Have you ever seen a man get shot?
Yeah, I have seen somebody get shot before.
Have you ever seen a woman smoking crack with her baby at the table?
I
Older in
have.
life, but not young.
In real
Older
life.
in life. Yeah, in real life.
Right.
Older, but not
As
as a
older.
youth. Oh,
Not
yeah,
as
older, not as a youth.
not as a
Not
youth.
as a youth. Yeah.
Right. So have you ever seen the blood left over when somebody got their brains blow out or beaten by a domestic violence incident?
No.
Have you ever seen somebody pulled out the Chattahoochee with their testicle chopped off?
I can't. No, I can speak. No, I haven't seen that. Have anybody
Right.
else seen that? Not
This
as
is
a
what I'm
youth.
telling you. This is what I'm telling you. These are the things that I saw personally. I witnessed living in Bankhead Court. So if that is what your environment is like growing up as a YN, you don't know what that could do to your mind if you don't have any type of foundation or faith or anybody to tell you that this is wrong. This is not how life is supposed to be. This is not how it's supposed to be. And then again, luckily I've seen women selling their bodies. I've seen people get put out. I've seen the worst of the worst environment, growing up in that environment. So it impacts your psyche in a way that you can't comprehend because you didn't grow up in that environment.
So a
So
statement I always make is for somebody like Paulos that has witnessed a lot of that kind of stuff. You got some back feed going on.
that was the audio. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Somebody
Y'all
mic.
understand?
I know. Check your mic.
Everybody mute their mic. Everybody mute their mic, then we'll see who does
Yeah.
who it is. Everybody mute their mic.
All right,
Testing.
can y'all
Y'all
hear
can
me?
hear me?
All
Yeah.
right, yeah. All right, cool. So what I was saying, for somebody like Paulos, in those environments, I say it all the time. He is a prime example of somebody who has normalized a bunch of stuff that's not normal. Tori, you can't relate to any of that because you've never witnessed any of it. A lot of it I can't relate to. I haven't seen it. I've seen the stabbing. I've seen somebody get shot. A lot of that stuff for somebody that has grew up in a safe environment, that nothing's wrong with that. In a safer environment such as you can't relate to that. You only saw that stuff on the movies.
Well, okay, I get that, but does that give me an excuse to go out and do some dumbass shit? Go rob somebody just because that's the way of life I see it?
No, but you're missing the point.
But no, I'm
You're
not missing the point. I'm just saying some people use it as an excuse just because I see that stuff. Paulo say he saw it. Did Paulo doing that stuff? No.
But I can name 10
Oh,
people who I grew up with that are doing it. So I am the exception. We are the exception, not the rule. Majority
but
of people
Tori,
succumb to that.
let me ask you a simple question, Tori. This is why I keep telling everybody in this group, except for Lewis, about having daddy issues. Okay, my situation, because I haven't talked about me, I'm asking a question from you guys. I can relate to everything that the young man is saying because I'm the person out the group that went on vacation. I'm the person out the group that was maybe one of the worst of the worst that this city had to offer. So I really, really, really sympathize with the young man because when you're young like that, and I don't know how he is, but I would consider him maybe a big bro. Um, when you have no one to reach out to, and I would tell anybody this situation, anybody, when you have a zero skill set, violence is the best skill set in the world, Vontour. I promise you. Everybody got it. I can't be a banker. I can't do what Vincent do. I can't do what Lewis do. Vontour, I can't do what you do. But I guarantee you that I can administer some violence on every fucking body walking. See, when you're in
But hold up.
desperation mode, when you're in
Hold up,
desperation
Frank.
mode, Tory,
Hold-
and you
Let me
have
Tori, don't
nothing,
interrupt. Don't let him finish. Let him
when
finish.
you're in desperation mode, Tory, and you don't have nothing, you walk in the house and you see your mom and that motherfucker crying because she don't know how she gonna feed y'all. When you walk up to that front door and there's the fucking eviction note on this motherfucker and they gonna put y'all shit out in the street tomorrow, all that shit you saying is out the fucking door, bro. When you turn around and go backward, there is so much more opportunity out there for you. It's a fucking bank everywhere. It's a gas station everywhere. It's a grocery store everywhere. I seen a friend of mine get on the fucking 57 MARTA bus right on Martin Luther King and rob everybody on the goddamn MARTA bus and walk off that bitch like ain't nothing happened. So if you ain't never experienced desperation, there's a lot of shit that you shouldn't comment on until you experience it and know what it feel like to be hungry, and there is nothing you can do about it. That man said he was fucking hungry. That man said his dad was a piece of shit and he disappeared. That man said his mama was doing everything that she could to take care of them. He want some help. That's why he was at the place that he was at, so someone could help him, so he could help his family and his children. That's where the disconnect come in at, fellas. That's why our children, they not failing us. We failing the fuck out of them because we ain't putting forth an effort to teach them what to do and how to do it. And Vontario, I told you, you got an amazing situation because your son is finna be a junior at one of the best colleges in America. That is amazing, bro. Do you know what you had to do to get him to that point to say that you and him are night and day? Me and my son are night and day. there's a very slim chance where you'll find a father and a son just alike. And if you just imagine, Vontario, if your son was you, do you think he would be a junior at the University of Georgia?
I beg to differ. Yes, he could have. Because, because I took the road.
Tor.
No.
I've been
No,
knowing your
listen.
ass 30 years. Ain't no way in the fuck you could have went to University of Georgia and did nothing.
Oh, well,
We
hold
know
on.
he don't lie to each other.
Hold on.
If y'all
When you
ain't
say
lying to
not
each other,
done nothing, what you mean? What you mean not done nothing, Frank? 'Cause
No,
I got-
Tori, wait, hold on. Let me clarify
Uh-huh.
because I think wait, hold on, wait. Let's make sure we remain respectful. But at the same time, what he's trying to say, Tori, is you just made the statement. You gotta roll back your own statements. You just talked about the mentorship as far as what Harper had to offer you. Where we went to school, the mentorship and everything. Your son had better mentors. He
Yes.
got a lot.
Better
He got a
mentors.
lot. Wait, hold on, man. He got a lot because of what you were failed to be given. Understand?
Yeah,
So
I'm with y'all
if-
on that. So that means
so that's why- that's why- no, that's
road
why-
is much harder for me to go.
That's
to do
why.
my way
That's Frank's point. He's trying to say that's why. If Christian was you, grew up in your environment, would he have went to UGA? Probably not. You didn't go to UGA.
No.
But
First of all, they didn't give you the
let me
education
explain why I didn't go to UGA.
because you
Because
didn't get
first
the
of all,
education.
What was your
To be able to
GPA?
pass,
What was your GPA, Tori?
Well, hold
That's
on.
why you didn't
My
go to UGA.
Wait, hold on.
No, dead serious. My GPA was okay, y'all. I was an average student. But what I'm
That ain't
trying
gonna
to
get
say,
you at UGA tour. Average don't get you there.
but listen, y'all, UGA is just a name. I mean, I get it. It has a school.
What?
It don't matter. Look, everybody don't have to go to the top colleges to do something in life.
That ain't what we
We're
talking
not
about.
talking about that. We talking about
But-
UGA
but- but-
specifically.
That's not what we talking about.
No. I'm telling y'all, only reason I think I probably couldn't get UGA because the opportunities wasn't there for me.
You a lie. UGA.
Wait a minute. You had
No,
all of us,
no.
all five of us. Hold on, because all five of us had the exact same opportunities
Oh,
that Paulos had.
yep.
I'll give you one better. They don't know Anthony Belvin. All of us had the exact same opportunities that Anthony Belvin had. Anthony Belvin, Tori, went on to be a nuclear physicist working for NASA.
But hold up, did Anthony
Did we
Belvin
not go to
high
school with Anthony Belvin?
Yeah, elementary school, but we didn't go to
Okay.
middle school.
Where did he go to high school at?
Like-
What high school did he go to?
He went to Mays.
Right around the corner. Right around the corner.
But night and day, you gonna say Mays and Harper were the same back in the day?
That thing is.
It don't matter where it's at. You gonna sit here and tell me that Mays and Harper was the same?
Yes. If
We had the same opportunity.
each other, tour. You
Man,
acting
that
like that was
opportunity-
North Atlanta.
It was almost like North Atlanta.
No, it ain't. It ain't nothing like North Atlanta tour. I know people
Tori,
that don't
we
went
have
to
doctors
Mays.
and lawyers from Harper High. So
Hey, let's
we
get
got
back.
doctors
Let's
and
get back on
lawyers.
the topic because it's almost
You
like
probably
I'm
count.
telling you from sitting here. It sounds like we're attacking Tori. So
No,
let's
I
get
mean, I
back on
feel like I'm
topic.
getting attacked. I'm just trying to tell y'all, number one, the opportunities wasn't there for us. I mean, yes.
I said
you
it
can't
was.
say that, Tori,
We just
because-
didn't have the avenues and we didn't take advantage of them. They were
Now,
I'm
I didn't
telling
have
y'all
the same
what-
opportunities as North Atlanta High School. The white schools, no, I didn't have those same opportunities. But for the black schools, I'm pretty sure I had pretty much most of the same opportunities that they had.
Let me tell you something, Paulo. Let me tell you. What we're talking about opportunities. When I got out of high school, honestly, only school that accepted me out of high school was Kennesaw State. It's the only school that accepted me. And
Thought your
even
grades
then,
weren't good enough.
it wasn't because my grades weren't good enough. It was because,
Why
like
was
you
it?
said, wasn't prepared for that. So number one, I started from the bottom. I went to the
The
military.
bottom of
got
what,
an
Tori?
education.
You started from the bottom of what?
Started all over. But I'm just trying to tell you on this point was, yes, I got an associate degree. It's not a bachelor's. I got an associate degree in electronics. It's small, but it's something. But I'm just saying, I think if we had to mentor and things were better in school, yeah. Y'all trying to act like Harper provided us a lot. We did not have the same opportunity they did at Mays.
Tour.
Oh no, y'all all of a sudden y'all acting like Harper was offering all kind of stuff. The highest thing we had at Harper was a magnet program, which is banking. Seriously, y'all,
Sure.
come on.
Okay, Tori, let me rebut that because I seem to be the one who's in the top 10% of our class. I went to Harper High School. I was on the engineering team, and I went to Washington D.C. And that wasn't in Magnet. That was a science class, science club. We had engineers from AT&T come down there and work with us. There was opportunities, Tori. Now again, y'all telling me that
10% for the top 10%.
well, you could have been in the class too. It wasn't like they were kicking people out or they were looking
They
for
didn't
people
give
to be
everybody that
informed.
opportunity. They didn't give everybody the opportunities. The only mentor we had Deion Sanders. We had Deion
Did you
Sanders
take
up there.
that wasn't a mentor? Did you not take science? Did you take science? Then we had
Yes,
to
I
take
took science.
English,
I took from it.
math.
Took all the crib. I took all the crib. I got the seal. I got the vocational seal on my
So
diploma.
you want to blame the school for you not applying yourself.
Right, but now you're trying to blame the young man.
I blame my community. My community. We didn't have enough leaders in our school. I blame our community. That's why I blame it on.
Tori, let me ask you a question. And
Hold on, we talking about me in person.
not,
It's as Lewis. Lewis, you better get the opportunity in Harper.
listen, Tori, listen. This is for all of us. All right. I was presented with an opportunity to join the banking program. I was. I was presented with the opportunity to join all these things because when I was in high school, a lot of people didn't know it, man. I took French for 4 years straight. They wanted me to go to Paris. They wanted me to do all this kind of stuff on tour. But during that time, I didn't have time because I was a product of my environment. So I took the product that was in my environment, and that's what I thought was going to make me successful. You understand? I didn't apply myself on tour. It ain't that I didn't have the opportunity. I just thought it was better for me to go left because everybody that I knew that was successful,
it was right there in arm's reach. Left was right there in arm's reach. It was the easiest thing to get to, the quickest way to get to it.
Does that make it better though?
No, I'm not saying
that's the
point. Y'all. At that age, you don't know what's better.
You don't know, Ventura. That's why when Vincent said that we are failing the youth, we are. Because the older guys, they knew I was smart. But nobody, you know what they wanted me to do, Ventura? They wanted me to count their money and get it ready for the real. Because they knew I was smart and they knew I was young and they knew I was trustworthy. Do you think for one moment, any one of them motherfuckers said, hey, look, bro, you need to go to Atlanta area tech. You too smart to be counting all this money. You too smart to be doing re-ups and things of this nature. Hell no. They want to use me to be what they wanted me to be. Point blank, period. So yes, we as the unks and OGs, we are failing our youth because we're not getting them, making them better. We letting these little boys run up and down the street, being fools, shooting up shit, doing whatever they want to do. And then us as men, and I am 100% in this mix. I'm a mean motherfucker, man, to my son and my grandson. And I know I am. I'm mean to them because I don't want them to be me. I got to stay on their neck because they have the potential to be me. Buntori, you said you and your son are night and day. He don't have the potential to be you. Vincent's sons had the potential to be him. Especially that goddamn youngest one. So we have got to step in. But then the flip side, Vincent got them grandchildren. Paulo's got them grandchildren. I don't know if Louis got grandkids or not. Yes, you do, Louis. You got grandkids, don't you, Lou?
Yeah, I got two. I got one more on the way.
So that's what I'm saying. We're in a position now. We grandfathers. We got to jump in right now, man. You think, do you want that to be one of your sons, Ventura? Because I damn sure don't want it to be my son. I know Vincent's son is an officer. Bro, we got to step up and stop standing on the sideline watching shit happen, man. We got to get in the goddamn game. Paulos is the only person that's in the game. And I tell him all the time, bro, if you need me, I'll come help you. My style different now, but I damn sure come help you. And that's what we got to do, man.
Yeah, I'll
I
follow your
remember
lead.
one year we got together as a group. Y'all remember we fed the homeless? Y'all remember we got all the bosses together in Funtory? You made the sweaters and stuff. Man, I still got my hoodie. I still
Me
got
too.
it.
Me too.
So, bro, that's community, man. How long ago that been? 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
That was community. Look how quickly we got away from doing it. Don't y'all know we blessed to
From
have been doing
one
that
bad
shit
experience.
every year.
One bad experience made us shut it down.
And we should have never did that, man.
Yeah,
We should have never
that's
did
right.
that. We should do that at least 2 to 3 times a year. Because we all collectively can fucking afford it. Bro, we are failing our communities. We sit back and watch these young guys, man, and then we act like we scared of these little motherfuckers. Bro, if I come to you and I'm talking to you in a respectful manner, and you pull out your tool on me, man, God didn't want me here no more. That's point blank, period. Because I'm showing you love and respect. And if you kill a person for showing love and respect, man, that's just a piece of shit. But bro, we got to try to help these people. Because just like Paulo said earlier, and we talked about it yesterday, Chicago is a dead city, man. It shit started over there at Detroit. They killing everything for any goddamn reason. That shit went to the right. It went to California. I mean, went to Chicago. And for Chicago, it don't start going down south to St. Louis. And it's so bad in St. Louis that it don't jump over to Memphis. How long y'all think it gonna come back and destroy our city? We not gonna live that much longer, man. And for the most part, our best years are behind us. So why should we be afraid at this age, the unks and the OGs, to grab up the youth? I don't give a damn if we don't get but 10. Then that 10 can get 10. Then that 10 can get 10. Bro, it has to start from somewhere. And I hate to say this because me and Vincent talk about this shit all the time. And this gonna seem so ugly, but it's the truth. In order for our race to survive, some of these bad seeds, these motherfuckers gotta go in the casket. Because if we don't get some of this shit out of the way, your son, Vontori, Parlo's son, Louis' sons, Vincent's sons, my sons, the ones that we creating to be better for our community, they not gonna make it because you got a bunch of young fools that we scared to talk to. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
You're gonna have an explosion, and it's already happening. You're gonna have an explosion of parents burying their children. It's already happening. It's crazy. I saw that for the first time, and everybody know the story. My best friend, we had started our business together, and when he passed away, and that pain in the parents' face, I hope I never, and that nobody on this platform experiences nothing like that. Worst experience and worst pain I ever saw in somebody's face in my life. And it's gonna be an explosion of that. We're seeing it all the time. Like, I don't want to go to anybody's child's funeral, not for violence or something like that.
No,
it's ridiculous. And we sit back as a collective. We talk about it, but what are we doing about it? Like, Tori, we grew up and we went to Adamsville summer camp. You had the Boys and Girls Club. I went to the YMCA Butler Street downtown. We had different places like that where your mom took you and drop you off, and that's why I say I had
safe
people.
place. A safe place.
Exactly. Those places ain't if they even exist, they're not safe no more. The kids don't want. When the last time you done rolled past the park and saw young folks out there hooping?
I ain't seen that in years, Vincent. Years.
And when we grew up, you had to go probably hit 3 parks before you knew you was gonna be able to hit the court because there was so many folks out there.
Well, Vincent, Tori grew up right damn near across the street from Collier Park.
Yeah.
So we grew up in communities that was conducive to raising great kids. But then we just took our hands out and said, we wipe our hands clean.
But
And
with
that's
this social
our
media,
failure.
one thing to Tori's point, with this social media, it is a huge disconnect. You don't have kids outside. They talk to each other through these gaming systems. There's no like intermingling. Ain't no basketball court where I can bump into you and foul you. You don't know what contact feels like. You get on a basketball court, somebody fire you, you might get into a little squabble. There ain't no squabbling no more. They quick to put you down because they have no respect. They don't have that. They don't have that bond. They don't have that respect for life.
They don't understand it. They don't value it the same way.
Exactly.
Because
And
they've seen it. Right. They've normalized it, as we talked about. They've normalized that.
That's our fault.
There's no value in their life or someone else's. So they're quick to take someone else's life and to put their life on the line. So,
that's our
fortunately,
Hey, let me ask y'all a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask y'all a simple question. What's the best vacation you've ever been on, Vincent? Just simple, make it real simple. What's the best
To be
vacation
honest
you've
with
been
you, it was just my family. We went to got a cabin in Tennessee.
on? Okay. Tori, what's the best
Me and my
vacation
wife
you've
and the
ever been on?
kids.
I'd probably say when I was youth, we used to always go to Daytona Beach and Disney World. We went every year. Those
That's
were
the
the best
best
times.
vacation. That's the best vacation you've ever been on in your entire life, Disney World. And now
Well,
you're
I'm talking
grown
about
man.
we talking about like it's
I'm
kind of hard to say,
talking
man.
about your entire life. What's the best one?
Come back to
Give
me
me
and I
one.
have to think about it.
All right, Paulo, what's the best vacation you've been on?
trying to think. I guess one of the best one I would say maybe when I went to London and Paris with my kids and wife and in-laws and sister-in-law. So that was one of the best ones to get.
Lewis,
They
what's the
showed
best
me.
vacation you've been on?
Hold on, I'm sorry. My bad.
What's the best?
Best vacation I've been on. Uh, to be honest with you, I have to go back to childhood. And the reason why I'm going back to childhood because it was like a family oriented vacation where it was multiple family members and extended family members. Like we used to go to Callaway Garden every year.
Mhm.
So stuff like that I still have in my memory bank. Even though like now, me and my family we may hit Florida or do a cruise or whatever, but back then I can just remember as a kid looking forward to going to Callaway Garden every year with everybody.
All right, I go ahead and say what's my favorite one. My favorite one, the year after we did our class reunion cruise, we did a family cruise, and I say that was the best family vacation ever. Like we did a family reunion cruise. When I tell you we laughed and laughed, and one of the things is I did karaoke, and I did Boys to Men with four other strangers, and when I sung that song, it was crazy through the whole rest of the cruise. Everybody was like, "What's up, Boys to Men, Boys to Men?" I felt like a rock star because everywhere I walked to that cruise, they were like, "Boys to Men, Boys to Men." So when I tell you we laughed and laughed, that was a real fun cruise. I,
Okay.
listen
Now,
to you, we had a good time. Go ahead.
the best vacation that I've been on, um, I went to Japan. Okay. Now I'm finna show you something, too. I'm finna show you something. Cause my son, he's standing over him. Man, how many times you been on the airplane? How many times you think you been on the airplane? flying all over the United States. Okay. My son say he been on airplane 4 or 5. I know for a fact he been on airplane at least 10 or 20. I'm saying that to say this, gentlemen. Can y'all imagine the look on a kid's face from the inner city that grew up in Bankhead Court or Adamville or over there where you was at, Vincent? I grabbed 2 kids. Paulo's grabbed 2. Tori grabbed 2. Lewis grabbed 2. Vincent, you grabbed 2 in the mentor program, and we take them to Savannah, to the beach. You understand what I'm saying? Something so small to us would be the experience of a lifetime for them. They would talk
That's yeah,
about that their whole entire lives. That's
and
the
that's one
thing that
reason.
we got to do.
Yeah, that's one
Because
That's
reason the little cabin vacation stands out to me because it was one of the simplest, but it was just the experience with my family and just that unity and the bond. Like I've been to Aruba, I've been to pretty much all the islands, been to a lot of places, but this particular one stands out to me. And when we talk about vacations, like what was that one always come up? Cause for me,
you,
it was just that
mhm.
bond.
see, that's what
You
I'm
know what,
saying.
Frank?
If we can
You
get
know what,
together,
Frank?
yes, sir.
We won't even have to get on I-16. Do you know how many kids? Do you know how many adults our age have never went to a Hawks game, a Falcons game? Like for real, like dead ass. Like for the youth to go to the Battery and watch the Braves play, or go to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and watch the Falcons play. Like
So,
we don't even have to leave the city limits. It's
so
a lot
gentlemen,
of stuff inside the city limits that
how, how
the
can we
youth don't even think about. They don't even think about experiencing. All they think about is the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much stuff that they haven't witnessed here in Atlanta.
so how can we
You
put that
know,
together then, gentlemen? How can the unks and OGs sponsor something so simple that only gonna cost a little money in our time? Because our time is way more valuable than money. How can we get together and reach out to different civic organizations to offer so that we won't feel like we feel it? Because right now, I know that I'm mean, but these motherfuckers are spoiled at the same time. That's not the same thing.
I
I'm
agree with
talking about
that
some
too.
kids that need to see that life exists outside of their front door.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
if you don't see it, you don't think it exists.
Hmm.
We got to stop
Shit, we lost a mutual
concentrating.
friend
Like
at a
we
young
say,
age,
social
man. That we
media has destroyed them. Social media don't destroy them
yeah.
because they don't realize that all this shit they seeing is fake. They don't realize that that money ain't real. They don't remember. They don't realize that all that jewelry is fugazi. None of
Hmm.
them diamonds ain't real. All them
Right.
cars rented. All them cheap
Right.
ass clothes. All that the women be fighting up. Man, this
It's
Vontae,
scripted.
Paulo sent something. Oh, no, it wasn't Paulo's. It was Vincent sent something earlier today that said God did not intend for us to be runners and jumpers and entertainers. He made us so much more than that. And that seems like those are the only areas that we succeed in. Either we playing sports or entertaining. I know damn well my people are way stronger than just entertainers and athletes. We got to show these kids something different, man. So everybody don't want to be a damn rapper. Everybody ain't gonna be Lewis height. Lewis is the only person in our group over 6 feet. Nobody's gonna be. Everybody ain't gonna be giants, man. We got to show them some love and some fucking support. Because if we don't give them love and support, the street gonna give it to them. I guarantee you. The street gonna
Yeah.
give them all the love and support they want, but it's gonna be negative.
Mhm.
So whatever you gentlemen think we can come up with, we need to reach out because we started this thing to be a helpmate, not only for us, but for everybody. And I love you guys, man. And we love on each other all the time. But we got to extend these olive branches and start loving on other people too. And this year, man, we're going to crank our Thanksgiving thing back up. Even though me, myself, personally, I don't believe in Thanksgiving. But that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. But we can give back in more ways than one. So I'm all ears on whatever y'all want to do, however y'all want to do it, whatever we can come up with to push unks and OGs. And I think that's where our success gonna come from. What we do to help our communities. And I be damned if we don't just start in Adamsville, where all of us are from, the Adamsville Bankhead community. Pull that shit to the front, because there are so many kids that need what we got to offer. And if they don't know it exists, they gonna just pull their
Yeah.
ratchets and they tools out and rob and kill. And if they don't, each one of us have something to live for. So therefore, each one of us has something to die for. Those kids, man, that we have failed, they don't have shit to live for, so they don't give a shit about life, period.
Yeah, that's what they think. That's what they feel.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
how they feel. That's why that young man was saying everything he was saying, because he don't see a bright future for himself. And your future does not dictate or depict how much money you have. It don't depict where you live at. It don't depict what kind of car you drive. None of that, man. None of that. Cause we don't talk about money.
Mm-mm. I remember.
That's all.
I remember when one of the first real jobs I got growing up. I probably was about maybe 23, 24 years old. And old man told me, say, young man, what you need to understand, because I was like, I need to get this position so I can make more money, do this, do that. Say, young man, let me explain something to you. It ain't how much money you make, it's what you do with what you got. And
Facts.
he started talking to me about like 401k and investments and savings and retirement and stuff like that. And you know, all you thinking about is trying to pay the bills. You know, I had my
That's
oldest
what OGs
son
do.
was born at that point. Yeah. I had my
Yeah,
oldest
pass
son
it
at that
down.
point. I'm like, man, we trying to eat right now. I ain't got no money to put in no 401k.
Yeah.
But
Look
yeah,
at you now.
you live and you learn.
Look at you now. Look at that 401k now. Well, it was until Trump got in office.
But that's all I'm saying, gentlemen, man. I want us to get together. I want us to push this thing forward. I want us, like, 'cause, man,
I think that's
we
your
real
mic,
story.
Frank.
Yeah,
We
that's
real
Frank. Your
story.
mic is Frank coming in and out. The mic is coming in and out.
All right. What about now? How it sound to you guys now?
Sound like you
Sound
need a cough
better.
drop.
Yeah.
It might be your peace spot. Sound like Macy Gray.
Say something
All right,
now.
hold on.
There you go. We can hear you now.
He'll went out. He'll be back so we can wrap this thing up. Big boy, what you eat? What you eat? You know you supposed to be eating like that this late at night. Look at me. How much of that Crown you drunk, Tori?
Oh, you talking about me? Oh no.
Yeah,
I
you the
drunk.
only big boy on here. Yeah, how much you drunk?
See, yeah, there's two others.
It's the
Goddamn Lewis
only
and
person
Frank.
I know. He run at least a 3 or 5 mile race every month, and then turn around and go eat a damn Philly footlong.
Hey, what can I say?
He said, oh, you talking about Vince? You thought that sound like Vince then? Yeah. There you go.
All right,
Frank,
gentlemen,
you
can y'all
back?
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you, so we
Okay.
almost 2 hours. I be trying to tell y'all, long-winded bastards, to slow
But
down.
yeah, bro, I have
All right.
really enjoyed this, man. And we just want the public to know that we're gonna come at y'all every Wednesday. We're gonna have new content. We're gonna have new stories, because that's what we do, man. We real. We real stories. We got real situations. We got real people. And we're gonna be outside in the real world. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for coming in to giving your expertise, how you feel about the situation, and we're gonna work to make this thing grow and be better for our communities, better for our families, better for our loved ones. And for me, I want to say thank you guys. And you guys do your closing remarks. Starting out with you, Paulos.
All right, ODBs, appreciate you. Y'all got to be old enough to know what that means. Again, Frank and Tori, I'm gonna need that $5 fine. You late bastards. And I'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Lewis, take us out of here, man. Talk to me.
Hey man, I enjoyed this episode, man. I love you guys, unks, OGs. We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna pull the youth in. We're gonna show them the way, show them the path, give them some happiness, man. Show them that it's more out here, in life. Like the gentleman said in the video, he just now getting to know his children. We don't want that. Okay, if you're gonna reproduce, you got to be in the children's life. Just like we are. So we're gonna show them the way. We're gonna show them the path. We're gonna be the example to them. We're gonna figure it out. We don't have all the answers, but we're gonna put our minds and hearts together to figure this thing out, man.
Talk
Salute.
to me,
Thank you.
Vince.
I just encourage everybody. I really enjoyed this conversation. It brought some real passion out, and I think everybody got their point across. I just encourage everybody. Just like we gotta learn to listen. We might not be able to relate, to it because we didn't come up in that lifestyle, that type of environment around those type of people. But you gotta just be able to listen and try to understand, and just help when you hear somebody crying out, help change that narrative. Let them know that it ain't got to be this way.
Get in there, Tor. Get in there.
I'm just keep it simple. I enjoyed you guys. We all going. I see it like this. Opinions are like buttholes. We all got one, and one love, and that's all I have.
Gentlemen, I love y'all. We're going to do this again next week, the week after that, and the week after that. And let's talk this weekend, man, to see how we can come up with having something for the LNs as well as the YNs. That's why I think we really need to start it if we're going to change the narrative of the prison system. We got to start with those guys. So I love y'all, man. And let's talk later this week and see what we can get going. Peace out, fellas.
Salute.